Sophie,
Hello, Grab.
hello. How are you today, love? Are you okay? Oh, sorry, my screen's a bit low. Sorry.
Really fantastic.
Oh,
I
good. You
have
look.
to tell you.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have to tell you. Last Saturday,
Yeah.
I was shooting a film with my friend.
Oh, great. That's good. Wow.
Amazing! I actually really want to share with you like the picture
Okay.
we took the video. So yeah, I'm
Can you
going
put it in the
to
chat? Can you put it in the
yeah
chat?
yeah yeah.
I think you
So
can put it in the chat.
do you see that?
Let me just
Hello.
click if it works.
Okay.
Hang on. Let me have a look. Oh, it's trying to open. Oh, hang on.
Okay.
I can. Hang on. It's loading. Oh, what is it doing?
That has a
It,
lot of films, and you have to click the first
okay.
file.
It's trying to, because it's a Google Drive. It's just a bit slow.
Okay.
It's trying to load. Yeah, which one is it? Which image should I click
The
on?
the first thing you should click the first file.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's very pretty. Where is that? It's like by a
It is
river.
yeah, this is side of river, and maybe you can just click the first file
Yeah, that's a
because
lovely.
there's a lot of actors, actresses, and even me
Okay.
is in there. Yeah.
Very pretty river. Very
Yeah, it
pretty.
is.
So the far, where's the? I can see the. I can only see the JPEGs. I can't see the actual other pictures. Hang on, let me just see if there's other pictures there. Oh, okay. I found a few more pictures. Oh yeah, lots of actors, lots of people
Yeah.
in masks, which is good. And then what? So wow, there's lots of you there. So what was it about? It looks like it's about school or something.
It is. It
Is
is.
it about school
There's,
people studying?
yeah,
People
it is
studying.
like I think the story is about a boy who is basically and and there's a girl appears in his life and
Okay.
yeah, giving him hope
Oh,
to
okay.
survive for yeah.
That's the girl. She's got the cake. I can see
Yeah.
that. And oh, that's good. And I'm looking for you. Where are you?
You can see me?
No, I can't see you. You're not the girl, I don't think. Is that you with a mask on doing the clapper board? No, it's not you, is it? No. I'm only going in through the first file.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's good. And so well, I'll click out of that, but
Okay.
tell me what was your job? What was your job in the thing?
So I was a student, but I'm naturally have I don't have any lines that I have to say. I'm not really important. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just yeah, was pretending to be one of student in that classroom. Yeah.
We call that. I
And
think what we call that. We call that. I'll put it in the in the Google. It's quite a good one. Let me just share that with you. The term. Oops. The term that we use is. So I've got the first thing up. Um, it's called a supporting artist. Oops. Nothing happened. Supporting artist. That's
yeah,
what your role was. That's what we call it. Or in the old days, which isn't such a good term, we called them extras. Extras.
yeah,
That was the name for someone who was in a film
yeah,
and not actually speaking,
yeah,
sort of acting and not speaking. And because I was telling you, I've done a few. I've done a few.
yeah.
I did the Crown, and I wish I could show you if I could get I could get the Crown up, but I'm in the
Actually, recently I am watching The Crown, and
Oh,
yeah, and I'm trying to find you in the
well, it's very hard to find me
room.
because I'm not wearing a hat. But I'll tell you, this the scene I'm in is the Ghana conference. I think it's the Ghana conference in 1963. I think it's the. In fact, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll quickly see if I can just get that up on. See if it might just appear on a bit of Google. I don't know. Netflix are a bit tough on things like this, but see if it might. The Crown. Video. No, I think I'd have to actually go into. No, I can't, obviously, because The Crown. I have got Netflix, but I can't get it up to share with you. I don't think, and it never appears on YouTube. But I don't know if there's any images from it. Yeah, well, it's interesting. I am in which scene? Oh, that's the scene I'm in. Hang on, I'm just seeing if there's any better pictures. Yeah, oh, actually, can you see the screen here? Can you see?
I can.
Yeah, you can see there's a man speaking. Well, in that scene, weirdly, I was in two places at once because they guessed they wouldn't see me, but I'm actually somewhere there. That could be me. That's me. That is actually me. That is me there on this balcony, writing. Yeah, that's me there.
So I'm going to watch season 2, episode 8.
Yeah,
maybe later.
You won't really recognize because I've got a shaved head, and then I think I'm also appear somewhere down there. But this whole scene, which was beautifully done, I have to tell you, really amazingly done.
Yeah.
It took one whole day to film the scene. Yeah. It was because the man delivered a long speech. He did he was a really good actor. This is him actually. And in fact, funny enough, I don't remember actually that scene. I wasn't in that scene, but that was different. But I was in the other scene. I was definitely in that scene. That was my scene. Yeah. And have you heard of Killing Eve? Have you ever heard of Killing Eve, the TV series?
No.
It's very famous.
No,
it's very famous. It's I'll get rid of that. Hang on. Yeah, it's very famous. It's called it's a drama series, Killing Eve, and it won lots of awards. It's about an assassin, a Russian girl assassin, and this detective lady trying to get her, and one part of that takes part in Russia and in a hotel, and I'm in that for quite a long time, and yeah, I'm in that for quite a long time. Yeah, in the scene in Russia, and I also did a couple of commercials as well, which funnily enough I didn't get paid much for, but actually I was quite featured. You could see my head, but I keep getting requests to do The Crown again, but the problem is that it's the days are quite long. It's quite tiring. You know, it's like you have to get up. Yeah, it's with your. I mean, what time did you start when you were filming?
I started at 8 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
And I think that it ended up maybe really late, maybe 6 p.m.
Oh, okay.
Maybe even like
with The Crown, I know that I got up that morning at 3:30 in the morning to get to the bus, and it was a special coach, and we went to the location, which was quite far, and so we were there for like 7, and then we were filming all day, and then we came back at about 8. So it was a very long day. I mean, the money's quite good. I have to say the money is quite good, but it's just quite hard to do it, and it's quite boring as well. So I don't know if I'd want to do it again, but no, that's what we call supporting. Yeah, you're a supporting artist. So when will the film be finished?
I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that actually. Yeah.
Okay. And will it be on television or at a festival or
Well, it is actually the films that my friend is going to join the competition. Yeah,
oh, okay.
yeah.
Oh, that's really
The
good.
film for competition. Yeah,
Yeah, competition. Excellent for the film festival. Oh, that's really nice,
exactly.
isn't it? And did you enjoy it?
I enjoy a lot. Oh my gosh, I really love it. I
Uh,
mean, it is. I don't know. It was amazing for me. Although
yeah.
I'm really exhausted at that moment. Actually, I do enjoy it a lot. Yeah.
Okay. That's really good. That's fun. It's fun. Oh, and did you get paid? Did you get paid anything or was you did it?
No, but they offer breakfast, lunch,
Oh,
dinner, and
that's
also
good.
some drinks. Yeah,
Oh, that's
for
good.
me
Yeah,
it is really,
that's
it is
important.
really good payment. Yeah.
That's important. What was interesting was I did a film for it was a big film. Oh, I did Dumbo. I did the film of Dumbo, and the film made by I can't remember who directed it now. I think it was the guy who did oh, what's his name? The actor, the director. He's a very big director. It was at a big film studio, Pinewood, and I was playing an animal handler, but we were never on. We were. It was such a disastrous film. We were never on the set. It was so expensive, and then when we were on set, we were like, "I'm sure they can't see us," and it was very strange. And then when we ate we got food on the
Yes.
first. I was there for weeks. It was crazy. The first 2 3 days, it was good. The food was okay. And then
Yes.
on the third day, they were like, "Oh, now you can't have this good food. You have this food," and it was awful food. Then they gave better food to some of the actors, and they gave rubbish food to us. And sometimes we were just standing for hours. But I know they shot a whole scene in a circus tent, which
Yes.
I didn't go for. And sometimes the people were there for 6 hours without a break, sitting on wooden seats. It was like killing. People said
Mhm.
who did it, it was the worst thing they'd ever done. And it was
Yes.
like really, really hard. And they had nothing to do but watch something that was not there. There was like a circus with a girl on a trapeze, but because it was all CGI, she
Yes.
wasn't actually in the circus. So they just had to go like that, look, and go, wow, for hours, hours and hours and hours. But with your acting, did you have to respond to something? What did you have to do?
Well, this is like I only I have to do is pretending that I'm trying to discuss or have a talk with other classmates. That's
Oh, okay.
all I need to do. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And did they make you? Did you actually have to talk quietly? So you talk without speaking?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
that's important. Yeah, that's what they do. But also, what's interesting is they. I did this when I did the Killing Eve. I was in a restaurant and I was having
Yeah.
to eat breakfast. And they said to me, "Oh, we're going to," luckily, the man said, "We're going to do this lots of times." He said, "So don't eat anything or just have one thing on your fork that's very small." Because he said, "We're going to be here for hours." So he said, if you eat a sausage or something, you're going to have to keep eating sausages for hours, which would have been terrible, to go like that and swallow and then do it again and keep going and maybe eat 30 sausages. So I didn't. I just had like a grape. I think I had a grape and I was just eating a grape, talking to someone. But then this man at another table, the people thought, well, I don't want to eat anything. And then the director had to cut because he could see there was no food on the table. So the people were pretending to eat, but holding
Yeah.
nothing. So that looked crazy. They were like a woman drinking from a glass with nothing in it. So it was a empty glass and she was going, ah, and. So it was quite funny. But the lead actor, I remember the lead actor, there were three big actors in the scene. And this one lady kept getting her lines wrong. She got them wrong so many times. And the actor actually had to eat. And he was eating some eggs. and he ate about 5 eggs while this woman was getting her lines wrong. She just could not. It really irritated me. And the crazy thing was, she started, the big famous actor host name is Sandra Oh, who is Eve in the thing, started off the scene standing next to me and this other girl, and then she had to walk to this table, sit down, and start talking. And after about the 10th time she got it wrong, I said to the girl who was with me, I said, should we just say, get your lines right to her, you know, because it was like, we didn't, obviously, we would have been fired, but it was like really bad. It was like really bad. Yeah, it was awful, awful. So listen, let's get on with this thing this week. It's about ghosts and, well, Chinese ghosts. Do you know about this? Is it Ghost Month for you? Is it a big thing?
It is kind of big things, I think, because like there has a lot of superstitions that you can whistle at the night because it sounds a little bit like ghosts, or or maybe you can't go to beach or swimming pool because some of people who drowned and maybe their spirit will try to kill you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also there's a thing about not wearing red or black, it seems. If you wear red clothes.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the ghost will see you or something. So let's put this in the thing. So you can't, and you mustn't whistle, did you say?
Yeah, mustn't whistle at night.
Whistle because it sounds like a ghost. Is that the idea?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's a bit strange. And so, and also don't go to the beach.
Yeah.
Beach, just in case someone a ghost tries to drown you, which sounds a bit crazy. And I think it said don't wear red or black clothes, which is a bit crazy. Oh, sorry, wear. Don't wear red or black clothes. Okay, well, that's really odd. So listen, let's have a look at the video and we'll see. I've also found a video of something which is quite fun, which is, well, not fun. It's a video of this house that I visited that is very haunted in England, and it's quite scary. And also I've got a bit of a story by Dickens, a very famous story called A Christmas Carol, which I think you can read. As you can hear, my throat's, I've got a bit of a sore throat today, so I'm a bit croaky. Apologies if I sound a bit good. You can hear me, that's good. But it's my throat's just a bit croaky. Right, let's go with the video and see. It's very strange. I don't know what's in it, but it's strange. I'll see if I agree with it. I mean, we have something in England.
It's finally here, at least in Chinese.
Oh, sorry, it stopped. We have Halloween. You know, we have our thing in England called this.
Yeah.
Or as you will know, if you know Harry Potter, that's All Hallows Eve. It's an old term for the word. Halloween is being pushed. But funnily enough, originally, we didn't have the American thing, which, do you know what the American thing is you do on Halloween?
Trick or treat.
Yeah, we never had that when I was a kid. It was just so American. We never did that. Do you do that? Do you have that?
We don't have any, but yeah, when I was young, I really wanted to celebrate Halloween because I can get a lot of candy, a lot of sweets, which is the dream of every children.
Yeah, to eat sweets all the time. I agree. But trick or treat, yeah, we didn't used to have that in England. We would have like a sort of bonfire, a fire. We call it a bonfire.
Yeah.
And then we would we might have a pumpkin, a big pumpkin, which you would carve. And you'd often, the only thing we'd have is toffee apples. They were homemade and they were great. And maybe something called honeycomb, which is like cinder toffee. Oops. Which you could call cinder toffee, I think. cinder toffee. But yeah, the trick or treat thing didn't exist. It's like an American import, and not a very good one, I think, personally. But it's like because the tradition of Halloween is much older. You know, it's an ancient from at least 500 years ago, or maybe even older. And I think it's much more to do with the harvest in the traditions. It's like it probably connects to the harvest and spirits connected to the harvest, ancient spirits, Yeah. But let's have a look at the video and see how strange it is. Might be good.
Traditions, which is around 2 months early from the usual Western Halloween. And in this video, we're going to talk about 9 do's and don'ts on a ghost month. But before that, what is Ghost Month? Almost similar to Western Halloween, during Ghost Month, it is believed that the gate of hell opens, particularly on the first day of the 7th lunar month for private homes and on the second day of Ghost Month for public.
That's so weird, isn't it, that they've got 2 different days when they know hell opens, for public buildings and for private buildings. So, it's like, that's insane. That's just someone who's good at maths, doing some numbers, doing some calculations. I'm sure the ghosts don't know that, personally. Yeah, it's very odd. So what is the first day of the ghost month in the day? Is it the 1st of September or is it the 1st of October?
It is like the lunar year of September 1st.
Oh, so it's just gone. It's just 1st of September and 2nd of September. It's last week, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so we've missed it. Okay, that's weird, isn't it? I wonder why they did that this week.
Like places like shrines and government offices. Since we're referring to Chinese calendar here with Chinese New Year often occurring on mid-February, that means the 7th lunar month is around August to September.
Oh, okay.
For 2019, it's from August 1 to August 29, with Ghost Festival or Zhongyuan Festival happening on August 15, 2019. According to Chinese traditions, it is believed that anyone who has done a lot of misdeeds here on earth go to hell, while those who have died accidentally become ghosts that wander around here instead of transgressing to the next life. Therefore, holding a sacrifice for these sinful and wandering spirits, like offering a good meal or preparing some fruits and desserts while praying for them, and burning joss paper or ghost money at the side of the road, would help them escape from hell early and also prevent them from disturbing the living.
Do people burn the ghost money? I was going to ask. Yeah, that's quite an interesting thing.
So like maybe last month, a lot of people, they just burn the ghost money, ghost paper, I'm not sure. Just along the road, there's a lot of people just burn things. And
okay,
it feels really bad. I mean the quality of the air is so.
Oh, okay, so you get all the pollution from the ash, everything burning. Okay,
exactly.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. So it's like an old tradition.
Yeah, but it's also a little bit like a commercial because because people believe afterwards, they believe that maybe I spend some ghost money or some houses which made of paper, or there's a lot of Mercedes for ghosts, but you don't know actually if the afterwards to really exist, but people just believe it. It is better.
Okay.
Yeah, it is better to believe it if. Also, I
Sorry.
mean,
I was going to ask you then. So we'll put this in the thing. So it's really, it's for you. It's really, about the merchandising. Is that what you were saying? The merchandising. That's the word that you use. Merchandise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It's
a little
like
like
commercial. It's like commercial. And it's lost the spirit of the original. Yeah. Oops, spirit.
But I think that maybe trace back to the history, trace back to Chinese history. It does really like that. People used to burn. Yeah, people use burning ghost money or some houses for ghosts where they
Yeah.
believe that there's there has there's afterwards in our culture. So
Yeah, so it benefit. So the original spirit of the original has been lost. Has been lost. The spirit of the original idea has been lost, and yeah, that's very interesting because, and definitely with the burning of the ghost money, that would make a lot of pollution. Oh, who's
It
this? Yeah, got someone else coming in. Hello. Oops. Hello, Chloe. Pollution. Just wait
Yeah.
for Chloe. to say Hello. Yeah, I think that's true. Hello. Hello, Chloe. How are you? How are you? Are you well?
I think
A bit tired.
maybe okay.
Okay, that's all right. Well, my throat's a bit funny today, so I mean, I'm a bit croaky. I can hear it, so apologies. Actually, I just have a bit more water. We're talking about the ghost month in China and Taiwan. I'm going to share with you some other ghost things, and then I've got a piece of. Have either of you heard of? It's a very famous book, and it's called. Oops, I spelt that wrong. Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. Have either of you heard of that? A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. It's one, well, you would have seen the film because the lead character in it is a man and he's called Scrooge. Have you heard of the word Scrooge? No? Oh yeah, he's like, it's become to mean, it's almost like a noun for someone who's mean, who's not very nice. But the book is a great read. It's quite dark, the original book. And I thought we could read a bit when the first ghost first appears together because it's quite good. It's quite spooky. But let's watch a bit more of the video and then I'll go on to the video I've got, which is quite, because it's about a real place in England that I've visited and it's quite scary.
Having a festival for these spirits, here's a quick rundown of some do's and don'ts during a ghost month. Number 1. Avoid going out at night, especially if you're alone. This rule mostly applies to children, senior citizens, pregnant women, and highly sensitive people because they might get targeted easily by evil spirits and risk being possessed. Ghosts in general are at their strongest during nighttime because of the yin energy from the moon. Since the gates of hell are open during ghost month, your chances of bumping into these spirits are the highest during this time of the year. Number 2, don't stand waiting alone under a tree or bus stop late at night. This is connected to number 1 earlier, and since these spirits are highly active at nighttime, you might risk getting followed by them on your way home. Number 3, stay quiet at night. It's not only disrespectful for the living who wants to sleep, whistling at night or making any high frequency sounds like playing the lyre late at night during this month draws the spirit's attention to you and may come to you.
It's so weird. Who would play a lyre? You know what a lyre is? A lyre is such an old instrument in Western culture. A lyre. Who plays the lyre? Is that a big instrument in Taiwan? Or
no,
China?
but
It's it's an stringed instrument. You go like that with your fingers. You hold it like that.
no, actually, but like when we were in elementary school, we used to play recorder.
Oh, okay. That's a little, yeah. We do that. But the lyre is a really strange instrument. So I don't know where they've got that from. Ancient Greece. I think ancient Greece is the last time someone played the lyre. I don't know where that comes from. That's very strange. It's quite a weird thing. Don't stand by a bus stop by yourself. But the only problem is if you want to get on the bus, you need to. You know, what are you going to do? Not be by the bus stop when the bus comes, then you'll miss the bus. Then you'll be really worried. You know, so that's a bit strange. Yeah, I mean, the thing about ghosts at night is quite an interesting thing. That's quite an interesting idea that they have more yin energy because it's at night.
Number 4. Avoid any body of water during this month. Best to plan your travels that involve taking a ship or plane in another month. Also, avoid any water related activities to avoid mishaps caused by water ghosts. Just like the night and other dark places, spirits like water because of its yin environment. You might risk encountering mischievous water spirits that may drag the living into the water to replace them so they can leave their current limbo state and reincarnate into a new life.
What do you think about that? That's quite an interesting idea. Chloe, what do you think? Do you think you shouldn't go near water during the months? Is it like a superstition?
Go to water.
Yeah.
Many. My grandma and my
Yeah.
parents, they said don't go to the water during ghost month. And in normal time, I don't like to go to water, so
Okay.
it's nothing changed to me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, I love being by the sea. I don't necessarily go in the sea, but what do you think, Sophie? Would you go to the water, near some water?
No, I won't, definitely not, because
Okay.
I'm not sure if it is typically happening in ghost month, but actually a lot of people,
Yeah.
especially some of my maybe some of students in my um mom's school, because like August is the hottest month
Yeah.
in the year. So a lot of people usually go to
The
beach
beach.
for
Yeah.
fun, but actually it caused a lot of death because they drowned it
Brown.
in
Yeah.
the
They can't
water.
swim.
So I'm not sure if it is because of the weather or because of the ghost, but
Yeah.
maybe, yeah,
I
maybe.
mean, the thing is, it's interesting because I know we're slightly joking about this video, but can I ask you both, do you believe in ghosts?
Yeah.
Okay. And what do you think, Chloe? Do you believe in ghosts?
I think yes.
Okay. Now it's interesting because you might think I'm cynical, but actually I believe in ghosts as well. I do believe in ghosts. I've seen a few things in my life, and
Wow.
I've lived in a few houses, old houses, and with strange things. And England has got many, many old houses. You know, some of our houses are really old.
Can you
And
see them?
I've seen, well, I'll tell you what, I'll share with you in a minute, actually, but I've sensed things, and I've sensed things in houses which I've been into, strange presences, and but even I can tell you, I stayed at my sister's house at the weekend last Saturday night, and it's an old house. She's lived there for about a year and a half. It's a little house, beautiful little house. Now, I don't know if it was just quickly my imagination, but I was sure I saw someone quickly walking across the bedroom where I was sleeping about 2 months ago. But it was very strange. But then last Saturday, I'd been asleep for about an hour, and I woke up and I could hear someone coughing really loudly, really, really loudly. And I thought, wow. And my sister's bedroom was next to my bedroom. So, and it was about 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning. I'd been asleep for about an hour and a half. And so I called her and I said, "Are you okay?" And I didn't get any response. And I thought, wow, if she doesn't stop coughing, I'm going to have to call an ambulance, because it was so loud. It was like I could hear it. But it's funny enough, it did sound like a man coughing. And so then the next morning, I went back to sleep. I didn't hear it again. And then and in the morning I said, "Oh, well, you were coughing last night. Are you okay?" And she said, "That's next door." She said, "I can't hear it, but I think it's from the man next door." But I thought, wow, that would have to be really loud if it was coming through the walls of a very old house, because the walls are made of brick, they're not wood. And it was very loud coughing. So maybe someone was in that house before and had a cough, and maybe they're still there. I don't know. It didn't scare me too much, but it was quite a strong sound. And I've been in other houses where I've heard things and seen things. Yeah, so I definitely do believe. Let's go back to the video.
Number 5. Turn your whole body and not just your head if someone calls you at night. Same thing if someone taps on your shoulder at night. I mean, randomly hearing your name being called or being tapped at during the dark at night is surely spooky. You can do yourself a favor and just ignore them. If you must, instead of turning your head, which creates an imbalance in your body's yin and yang energy, making you more vulnerable, turn your whole body when someone calls you from the back. Number 6. Be aware of what you wear. Don't wear bright red or black clothes. These clothes attract spirits. Also avoid wearing clothes with your name on it like school jerseys and such to avoid risking number 5 earlier.
Do you think have you both? I'm wearing red today, but do you do that? Not wear red or black?
I know black, but I don't know red.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, and Sophie, what do you think?
Well, I don't have any color of red of my clothes. So,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, but I heard that really it is really like most of like it is like some mystery of our Chinese culture. Like if a ghost wears they wear clothes in red, it makes they are really haunted. They're really dangerous because they have.
If you wear red clothes, it makes them homesick and it makes them want to come towards you.
No. It's like I'm not sure if like people who wear red clothes it can make people it can make girls really come close to you, but it is like in our tradition it's like if a ghost who wears red clothes, yeah, red dress, red clothes, it means it is really dangerous with very vicious thoughts. Maybe maybe she or he was killed by a person, or
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't know that. So beware of red ghosts. That's very interesting. Yeah. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Let's go on a bit.
Also stick to flats for now and avoid high-heeled shoes because being constantly elevated from the ground makes your feet vulnerable and open for ghosts to possess you.
That's really strange. That's like a really, the idea that your heels, the ghosts will come in through your bottom of your feet. Very strange.
Number 7. Avoid playing supernatural games.
This I agree with.
This is self-explanatory. Spirits like the living crave interaction and will grab any opportunity presented to them. Don't invite them to come and talk to you unless you 100% want that to happen.
Yeah, we have a thing. I don't know how you pronounce it, actually, spell it. I don't think I've ever tried spelling it. I'll have a go. We have a thing called, it's a Ouija board. Yeah, it's a Ouija board. And might be Ouija, don't know. It's basically a board where you use a glass and it's got letters and you can I would never do one. I just don't think it's a good idea to do it. I think it's not a good idea personally, ever. That's just me. Yeah, I have been to spiritualist churches where they try and bring people to speak to you, spirits to speak with you, and that's not so bad, but I wouldn't try and bring a spirit into a house that I was living in. That wasn't, yeah, I wouldn't be happy about that.
Number 8. Don't pick up random interesting things on the road. These items are usually considered road toll for the nice ghosts or good brothers. Same thing goes for chalk paper and red envelopes. If you pick them up, the ghosts may get angry at you for stealing what's supposed to be theirs. Number 9. Feel free to use personal items as protection. Whether it's a special crystal bracelet, salt or salt water, amulet, glutinous rice, or prayer beads, use them if they help you feel at ease. If you don't believe in them, that's also fine, as long as we stay respectful of other people's beliefs and traditions.
What is it with the glutinous rice? How does that protect you, the rice? Do you know? That's quite unusual. She said glutinous rice. I've never heard of that. Gluey rice, basically. Yeah, she said glutinous rice helps you. So it's quite mysterious. But I think the idea of crystals, and I'll tell you something interesting. I will tell you something, because, you know, I know a lot about old things. You know, I'm surrounded by old things. And I do believe that objects can store memories of the past, and not always good memories, definitely. And I think that's the case. But also, you know, I collect old things, and also I sell old things as well. I the weekend I did a flea market with my mum and sister, and we sold some things. And then I went to buy some things on Sunday, and I was on a stall with my mum in this market, and she found some beads which were lovely, which were Chinese white, blue and white beads. And I saw this ring, and now the ring is very modern. And I will show it to you. It's very mysterious. It's quite strange, actually. Right, I can see this ring. Now, this ring is made of steel, so it's not precious at all. Can you both see it? It's made of it's made of steel. It's made of the same stuff as a knife and fork, but it's very sparkly. The stones in the top are very sparkly, and they've been glued on by someone. So I could see this is glued on. Now, the crazy thing is, the piece of jewelry at the top has got nothing to do with the piece underneath. And the piece of jewelry at the top is very, very old. I think it was once an earring. I think it was an earring from someone. And the earring is about 200 years old. So it's, and the most crazy thing is about these stones, and which you won't believe me, but it's true. These stones are diamonds. They're real diamonds.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really unusual. It's really odd. And I believe that when I find things, sometimes special things, and this is quite special, that it's supposed to help me. And maybe this is just a feeling I have sometimes, because my dad died when I was much younger. He died almost 40 years ago now. And that sometimes, as I call them, the people upstairs help me find things. You know, they sort of like engineer me and help me sometimes find great things. And I think that may be the case. Who knows? But it's a bit mysterious. But it's very mysterious that I should find this ring. It's quite a special thing, actually, because it's valueless. The ring is valueless, but the stones on top are amazing. Yeah. And they're very sparkling. But anyway, we'll go on a bit. I'm aware of time. So I think what we'll do is we'll stop that video. I'm going to show you this video about this other house. Now, this is a video. The house is in Lancashire, in England, in the north of England. And I have visited it. And it's called Chingle Hall. I think I've mentioned this before, actually, Chingle Hall. The house is about 700 years old. And now you can't visit it, but I visited it about 15 years ago, and you could feel how haunted it was. You could feel the atmosphere in the house was like electric. It's really strange. There's a little video I thought you might enjoy. It's a bit it's a bit spooky, but you might enjoy it. I know it's night there, but
North of Preston in Lancashire is a village named Goosnarr, and in this village lies one of Britain's oldest and most haunted buildings, Chingle Hall. Formerly known as Singleton Hall, this historic building was constructed in 1260 by the knight Adam de Singleton and was owned by the family until the 16th century. The Farrington family owned the hall from 1764, and during these years the hall was used as a meeting point for religious activity. Great efforts were made to keep the Roman Catholic traditions alive, as hiding holes were dug into the walls and a number of tunnels were dug which headed towards surrounding buildings in the area as a method of escape. One of the rooms that has previously encountered a number of unusual events is the kitchen. It is often reported by the current residents that pots and pans are moved about and are constantly witnessing bangs similar to the sounds of cutlery being banged together. One of the most active rooms at the hall is Eleanor's room. This room belonged to Eleanor Singleton. It has been reported that Eleanor was held captive in this room for over 12 years, until her death at the age of 20. It has been suggested that Eleanor was murdered in this room. However, no one is certain if this is a fact. An overwhelming sadness has been detected by a number of visitors who visit Eleanor's room, with some people reporting the smell of lavender throughout the hall. Now, back in 1997, I was lucky enough
what's
to visit.
interesting him saying about lavender is I smelt the lavender when I was there. It was really strong, really, and you couldn't see any lavender, and it wasn't a fake smell. It was like a really natural smell. Very strange.
It's Chingle Hall, and I had a very unusual experience in Eleanor's room, where as the guide was talking to us all, I felt as if I was rocking like side to side. A number of months later, I returned to Chingle Hall, and I explained my experience in Eleanor's room to the owner. To my amazement, I discovered that only 2 weeks previous, one of the guests suddenly broke down in tears in Eleanor's room and had to leave the building. Later explaining that he felt as if he was on a boat, comparing his feelings to seasickness. Once inside the hall, you will notice the wooden beams on the ceiling, which have a number of unusual symbols on them. Nobody knew what these symbols meant until a group of scientists took samples of the wood and found that the wood was many years older than the hall. This wood seemed to show large traces of salt, and it was discovered that the wooden beams were at one time belonging to a Viking longboat.
So did you understand that part of the building is made from an old boat? Which is quite interesting, isn't it? And the man was saying that when he went into this room, he felt like he was at sea. So quite strange.
It has been documented that in the 1950s, the beams suddenly caught fire for no reason, and the fire disappeared as quickly as it started. It is reported that the smell of burning wood still lingers in many of the rooms at Chingle Hall, ever since this bizarre occurrence. One of the most famous ghost sightings at Chingle Hall is that of a 17th century gentleman named John Wall, who in the 1600s went over to France to become a priest. John returned to England to visit a friend, but was soon arrested and then convicted of being a Catholic priest. A century later, his severed head was brought back to Chingle Hall by a group of nuns, who buried John's head somewhere within the grounds of Chingle Hall. But where exactly, nobody knows. Ever since then, the spirit of the priest has been spotted roaming the grounds surrounding Chingle Hall, and it is believed that until his head is found, the spirit of John will never be at rest. Now also, Chingle Hall has its own chapel, where the sighting of a hooded monk has been spotted, and he was on his knees as if he was in prayer. The figure of a hooded monk was a regular soul reported to have been seen crossing through the hall and towards the doorway to the stairs. The sounds of the main doorway opening and closing on its own, along with lights flickering on and off for no apparent reason. Shingle Hall now serves as a private residence, no longer open to the public. But phenomena recorded throughout the years makes Shingle Hall one of the most haunted buildings in Britain.
Yes, interesting. And when I went there, I could feel the presence of something in the house. It was very, very strong. But now you can't visit. But yeah, and the people said that sometimes the doors in the house would open by themselves as if people were coming and going. You know, you'd be sitting in a room, and suddenly the door next to you would just open, slow, not quickly, just really slowly. It would just go like, and then nothing would happen. And it was quite scary for the people who lived there. And there was lots and lots of others. The most interesting story about it was the house was owned by, I can tell you, house was owned by a lady in the 1950s, a really nice lady who was quite calm and not worried about the ghosts and everything. And then some people, I think, went to visit the house in the 1980s, and they couldn't get in. They found no one in, but then they saw this little old lady, so they went and spoke to her, and she said, "Oh yes, I live here. I'll show you round if you want." And she took them inside and she showed them a few rooms, and they were really happy. And then they went to the pub down the road because she said, "Oh, there's a good pub, you can stay." So they went into the pub and they were having a drink and they were going to stay. And the landlord of the pub and all the people in the pub said, "How did you know about the pub?" And they said, Oh, well, we were told about it by the little old lady who lives in the house." And the whole pub went silent and no one spoke. And then they said, "What do you mean, the little old lady who lives in the house?" And they said, "Oh, she was like a little old lady with white hair and she was called Mrs. So-and-so and she was really friendly and we saw her this afternoon." And then the pub was like really quiet and the landlords took them aside and said, "That was the lady who used to live in the pub, in the house rather." And they went, "Yeah, we saw her this afternoon." And then he said, No, you couldn't have seen her because she's been dead for 20 years. And they said, and he showed them a picture and it was the same lady they'd seen that afternoon and had a conversation with. And so there's lots of things connected to the house that are a bit strange, very strange, but it's a good house to visit. Quite mysterious. There's lots of houses in England. I just think you have to be maybe some people are open to things a little bit, and I'm quite open to things, I think, and I can, sensing things, But anyway, we're going to do a bit of reading for both of you. So this is A Christmas Carol, and basically the story of Christmas Carol takes place at Christmas, and it's a famous story. You'd know if you saw Scrooge or the Scrooge movies, you'd know about it. But this is the beginning where Scrooge has gone to bed and it's Christmas Eve. It's Christmas Day the next day. And he goes to bed and he can't get to sleep. And then he falls asleep and he wakes up and he hears the clock striking. And he has had a colleague he worked with called Marley, Jacob Marley. And suddenly the curtain, it's very cold, and the curtains he has around his bed are pulled aside, and Marley is standing there as a ghost with lots of chains. And I thought we could read the paragraphs, or read some of the paragraphs. There's only 3. So do you want to start off, Sophie? Can you see the screen? Scrooge, from there, read this paragraph. Can you see it?
Yeah,
Shall I make it bigger? I'll make it a bit bigger. Hang on.
it's fine.
That's better. Let's go for it.
Scrooge knew he was dead. Of course he did. How could it be otherwise? Scrooge
Yeah.
and he were partners for I don't know how many years. Scrooge was his sole executioner,
Yeah.
his sole administrator,
Yeah.
his sole assigned, his sole residuary legend, legacy,
Legacy. Yeah.
his sole friend, and sole mourner.
Yeah. Do you understand what the word soul means? It means only. A soul in this context is only. Hopefully it's soul, it means only. It's only mourner, his only friend, his only residuary legatee, his sole administrator, person who had to help his estate. Yeah. So do you want to read the next, not the white paragraph, yeah, explains it there, in fact. So Chloe, do you want to read this bit, this one?
Okay.
Some of it?
Okay. Marty in his pigtail, usual waistcoat,
Yeah.
tight, and boots. The tassels on the letter bristling like his pigtail, and his coat skirts and the hair upon his head. The chain he drew was clasped about his middle. It was long and wound about him like a tail, and it was made for Scrooge. Observed it closely, of cash boxes, keys, padlocks, ledgers, deeds, and heavy purses wrought in steel. His body was transparent, so that Scrooge, observing him and looking through his waistcoat, would see the two buttons on his coat behind.
That's great. Yeah, so basically he's describing Marley, and because it's the 19th century, early 19th century, he has his hair in a tail, longer hair, and he was wearing a jacket, but also he had a chain, like a ghostly chain around him. And it's quite important because he says the chain was made up of boxes which had money in it originally, keys, padlocks. Ledgers is a great word. Ledger is a word. Got it. I don't know what that's doing. I'll do it again. I'll do it using the Google. Ledger. It's a book that you write money transactions in, accounts and things. So a ledger is, so basically this ghost is covered in chains which are controlling him, which is all about the things he did in life. It's very clever. Do you just want to read the last one, Sophie?
Okay. I wear the chain I've forged in life, replied the ghost. I made it link by link and yard by yard. I girded it on my own free will, and of my own free will I wore it. Is it patent French to you?
Yeah, so basically he's saying when Scrooge says to him, why are you wearing that chain of old boxes? He says, oh, well, that's the chain I made in life. All the bad things that I did, all the mean deals I did with everyone. For each mean deal, I made a part of that chain. And I didn't realize it was rounding me. And it's very clever description, actually, of something in life. And but it's a very good start. It's a very good movie to watch. Actually, there's some great ones. Very quite scary in places, and but very good. But actually, there's another film you can watch about ghosts, which is very good, which I'll quickly tell you. And it's a good, really good story, and it's a story about hope. And this film, and it's, oh, you can watch the whole thing on YouTube. but I can tell you, it's really a great movie, and it's all about two children whose mother is very poor, and they're very poor, and they get the mother needs a job, and it's set a long time ago, and the mother gets this job in a country house, and she has to look after this house, but the house is ruined, the house is a mess. And when the man gives them the job, the man says to them, to the children, "Are you afraid of ghosts?" And the two children say, "Well, it depends. You know, if there were okay ghosts, maybe we'd be okay." The man goes, "Okay." So they go to the countryside and they start living in this house. But what the children see is they see two children. They see the ghosts of two children, their age. And the two ghost children say to them, "Can you help us? We need your help." And they're not so much ghosts. They've just traveled through time from the past. And the story, I tell you, it's such a good film. It's a really, really good film. It's a really good story. It's a bit scary, but it ends in a really interesting way. And I really recommend it. It's a very clever film. It's one of my favorite children's films. It's this one, called The Amazing Mr. Blunden. And I think you might be able to watch the whole thing. I'll just play one bit where they see the ghosts, I think. Ignore the advert.
Coming soon on Talking Pictures TV.
Ignore that.
Happy Christmas! Mrs. Allen, I trust you'll not be offended, but I'm in a position to offer you a job, or rather a reasonable salaried occupation.
Does your voices? Honestly, I did. My dear girl, all big houses have voices. Lucy. You are ghosts. Where is the seventh? Where is it? It's under the kitchen, Mrs. Ricketts. It's under the kitchen, Mrs. Ricketts. And what are you doing in the stable? I shall hold you until you release Georgie from the cellar. Mr. Georgie was well, sir.
Yes, a happy Christmas!
Coming soon on...
I'll stop it there. I'll stop sharing. It's a good movie. It's a fun movie to watch. It's very English as well. It's very, very English. So you could probably find subtitles to go with it. But it's a enjoyable, very enjoyable movie. Okay, well, looking at the time, it's just 3 o'clock. So thank you so much for coming to talk to me about ghosts today, Chinese ghosts, both of you. And thank you for sharing your stories about the filmmaking you were doing, Sophie. Very interesting. Tomorrow I'm doing about art. So we're going to talk about paintings. So I think if there's paintings you like that you want to share with me, both of you. I know we've done one before. They've got some paintings, but I'll find some other ones as well. And I might even share some of my own paintings I have in my house. Because I've got a few old paintings. So I'll share with you some stories. But thank you very much. Lovely to see you both. And I'll see you again soon. Take care now. Bye now. Thanks for coming.
Take care, Greg.
Bye. Bye now. Bye now.